This Austin Metcalf story has been making me sad all day. But as tragic as this story is, I wish I could say that I was surprised, but I'm not. Because as someone who is constantly glued into the news cycle, so I can bring you all the stories that we talk about on a daily basis, unfortunately, I can say that these type of stories are a dime a dozen these days. Half the time I just go right over them because every day it's another story like this one. Hell, just a couple of months ago, over on my other channel, we covered a story that happened at Arizona State University. You probably didn't hear about this story, but a young woman, if you want to call her that, she walked into a classroom one day and just for no reason decided to stab a young white girl. Later on, we found out in her diary writings that she didn't even know the girl at all. They had no prior problems. She just targeted her because she was a small white girl that she thought was an easy target. So these kind of stories, they happen all the time. But you see, here's the problem, and I mentioned the problem in a prior video, but let me expand upon it here. You see, I've made thousands upon thousands of videos talking about various crimes that white people have committed. We talk about a lot of crazy stories on this channel, right? Think of the thousands of videos that I've talked about involving a person who is white. No one ever has a problem with it. No one ever says anything. But as soon as I put out a video acknowledging a story about a black kid killing a white kid, all of a sudden some people get sensitive. Like it's okay to acknowledge all of these other crimes committed by various other races because I don't discriminate on this channel. We talk about stories involving all races, right? But as soon as you acknowledge a crime committed by a black person, especially a story like this one, people get up in arms. People get sensitive. And that's the problem right there. Because people want to shy away from the conversation. Oh, how dare you acknowledge this crime? You can acknowledge all of the other crimes you acknowledge on your channel, but don't acknowledge this one because it involves a young black kid, so you can't talk about this one. And that's the problem that I was talking about in a prior video. That's the problem right there. Everyone wants to get sensitive. No one wants to talk about the issue. Even in a tragic story like this one, we can't acknowledge how tragic the story is without people saying, yeah, but what about this? But what about that? I'm tired of the but what about isms. We're here talking about this story. What's the problem with acknowledging how terrible this story is? What's the problem with acknowledging the issues within the black community just like we acknowledge the issues within the white community and every other community that we talk about in these various videos on this channel? But I don't want to keep ranting about that. Because as I said earlier, this story is just, it's so sad. And I think one of the things that really got me was the fact that Austin had a twin brother. And, you know, I don't have a twin, but we all know, even if you don't have a twin, we all know that twins are very close, right? They're almost like, you know, an extension of the same person. They don't do anything without each other, and I just know that his life is never going to be the same after his twin brother literally died in his arms. A senseless death that shouldn't have happened. It doesn't matter what was said. It doesn't matter what happened at the track meet. No one should have ended up losing their life. And I don't know why everyone is playing stupid and not acknowledging the fact that Carmelo Anthony, because I guess he's named after the basketball player, he brought a knife to the track meet. So he came to the track meet already expecting some type of problems Because if you're here, if you're an athlete at that, you're here to, to run track or do football stuff or whatever the hell they were doing, why are you bringing weapons? Why? Obviously, you had something in mind, or you at least knew there was going to be some sort of issues. But the twin brother has been on the news speaking out about it, and I just got to say that he's got to be a strong person, stronger than me, to be able to keep his composure as he talked about what he witnessed, what he experienced. I want to go ahead and roll a couple of clips of him talking about this, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Oh, man.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
He's a good kid. We just got a little altercation, and that's really it, but he has a good heart. Everyone knows. Everyone around here knows he's a great kid. He just one mistake from that dude, and just took my brother. He didn't deserve it. No one deserves a loss from a family like that. I know people that lose their family members all the time, but I just didn't know it was gonna be mine so soon. I'm my best friend and my brother my whole life, but if y'all could just not y'all, sorry. Just thank y'all for just comforting us, and the Frisco area has been comforting my family and me. And I just really appreciate everything that everyone's done. It's a really hard loss, but we're gonna get through it with my family. So we'll just stay together. I mean, our relationship is really the tightest I've ever seen in somebody, between two human beings. I mean, we did everything together, clean the dishes together, do the artwork together, sports. You name anything in the world, it's always us two and one thing. So you're always just basically one person.
Were you guys just a few minutes apart?
4 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Austin was first by 4 minutes. He got stuck in me.
So technically your bigger brother.
Yes, ma'am. He does a lot of big brother stuff around. He's always on my back. Even if I'm in the wrong, he'll always take my side no matter what. So it's just really heartbreaking to see someone that cares for you that much and does everything even by your side no matter what, just pass away like that.
Mm-hmm. Your mom told me that you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't mind, what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So just that's just what I saw. And I tried to help him, but
it was just senseless.
It was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that. A man has a family. That man has people that care about them all the time, and he did everything for our family too. He was a strong man. He was a strong kid. Mm-hmm. I was strong, and I know I'm strong too, but he's a little stronger. But he did a lot for our family and a bunch of stuff that we just don't recognize. And it's just especially throughout our friends too, everyone knew, he was the peacemaker. That's what I'm saying. He heard someone who really makes peace, really calms peace down. He makes everything sail smoothly. And because I get upset, but then he calms me down. He was just always there for me. So it's just really heartbreaking to see how this happened.
Oh my goodness. And you guys are how old are you?
17.
17?
Yeah, they'll be 18 in July.
I saw a lot of articles say you guys were 16. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, they're 17.
Yes, ma'am.
Junior?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Austin wanted to play football.
He would have played college football.
He would have. For sure.
He definitely used his mindset, his skill level, his IQ of the game was probably the best I've seen in the Frisco area.
Yeah.
As a linebacker, he was a stud, and I always try to fill those shoes with him and play with him. And I had a blast my whole life playing sports with him my whole life. It was just me and him always good against people. And our last year together was this year, so it's just really heartbreaking not to see him next year on the field.
I'm so sorry, my love. Oh my goodness. I saw that he won linebacker of the year.
For the Frisco Memorial, he was
second team all district, which he should have been first.
Yeah.
But it's just everyone knows around this area the impacts of what he does for football and what he does for families and friends. Like, he's just a great guy overall to be around, and
Hard worker.
Extremely. It's just really hard. It's just really hard to see someone go like that just for like recklessness.
My focus of my story is, of course, on Austin. That is what's most important. But what would you say about the suspect and what's next?
We don't know anything about him. We have nothing to say.
I've never met this kid until right then. It really was under 30 seconds, this altercation. I've never met this kid in my entire life. And it's just...
And to be honest with you, we don't want to give him any recognition or any care, because that's not we're not, we have no desire to have anything to do with that man.
Absolutely.
So.
If Austin can hear you, what would you say to him?
I'd say, that's really hard, but I'd say a lot of things because I saw him before his last moments, and it was just...
How much we loved him. He knew that.
He knew how much I loved him, how much I do for him. Anything, I do anything for him.
Yeah.
No matter what. He's called me, I think anything that he needs, I'll do it for him. He's just a great guy, so when you have a great guy, you want people to be around you, they're going to be around you no matter what. Like, he's a great leader. That's why I always want to tell him, like, I always wanted to be like him in that sense. Is like how he just communicates and has great ways with people all the time. And I always looked up to him for like that. He was a big brother in a sense. He was the same age, but he was a big brother to me.
We just want to make sure that everybody knows how much that Austin is going to be still in our lives, as far as in our memories and our hearts forever. You know, it's going to be really hard. This is going to be really hard.
I can see how much you guys love and adore him.
Yeah, I'm really trying not to cry, but it's
No, Mr. Baby.
Yeah. He was my big baby. He was 225 pounds. Both of them big boys, and I loved movie time with them. They would ask me if we'd watch a movie and sit on the couch, and he'd put his head on my lap, and I'd scratch his back, and he was just, I don't know, he'd tell me things. He was so personable with me, and you know, I knew stuff that most teenagers wouldn't tell their moms, that just things that because we were close, you know, and now it's going to be us wrangling the future together.
I know you were with him till the end, right? Did you hold him the whole time?
I did, and they yanked me off him.
Yeah, they had to leave. He had to be removed when they did CPR, and then he wasn't able to be in the ambulance with him on the way to the hospital.
So it was just like hard throbbing the whole time, the whole ride on the hospital.
How did you get to the hospital?
My dad came. I called my mom. My mom didn't know. She didn't answer. She was at work, and then she answered my phone. I told her what happened. She came in right away, and then we drove to the hospital. We're trying to figure everything out.
Yeah, it was hard. That was tough because I beat the ambulance there. I don't even know how that's possible, but I did because I came in from Grapevine.
This is just a devastating loss for Austin's family that I know they will never get over. Austin's brother's never going to get over Austin dying in his arms. I can't even imagine putting myself in his shoes, but if I were in his shoes, I wouldn't be strong enough to formulate the words that he's forming while on the news and doing these interviews. Like I said earlier, he's stronger than me, and I commend him for that. But I find it really disappointing that people are seeing this same news story that I'm seeing. They're seeing the same news story that you're seeing, but instead of acknowledging how tragic this is, instead of getting triggered with emotions, you know, watching these emotional interviews with Austin's family, instead of getting triggered by that, they're getting triggered by the fact that some people have the balls to acknowledge that a black kid committed this crime. People aren't triggered by the crime itself. They're triggered by people like me acknowledging who committed the crime. They're triggered by people like me acknowledging that there are a lot of other stories like this one. They're triggered by people like me acknowledging that a lot of young black kids in our country are getting killed at alarming rates by other young black kids. They don't want you talking about those issues, but we need to. Do you think Austin's the only one falling victim to this problem? No. There's every single day, at least where I live, I don't know where you live. Where I live, I wake up every day and there's 4 or 5 young black men who died due to gun violence. Literally every single day. So the last thing I want or need is a white liberal who's never been around anyone else but other white liberals trying to lecture me on this issue. Because I live in this issue on a daily basis. I see this issue all around me, and it's sad. It's not just sad for families like Austin's family. It's sad for families with other skin colors as well. It's sad for black families who are often losing their sons to senseless violence in the streets because people want to live up and be like the famous rappers that are rapping about killing each other nonstop. We're going to sit here and act like that's not happening. We're going to sit here and act like every upcoming rapper isn't getting killed by another upcoming rapper. We're going to act like that's not happening too. Like, we acknowledge reality and real issues on this channel, and we always will. I'm not going to shy away from it like some of the other people you may watch on YouTube. But overall, it feels like there's a portion of society that doesn't even want us to acknowledge this story at all. We can acknowledge every other story. I could talk about every, incident that happens at a school involving a white guy or anything like that. But people want to force you not to talk about this issue. It's crazy. It's insane. Like, why can't people just acknowledge how terrible this is and keep it moving? Instead of but what aboutism? Oh yeah, this is terrible, but you shouldn't say, but what about? No, this is just terrible. This is sad. This is tragic. Leave it at that, right? But yeah, it's a frustrating story because I'm seeing this happen so much, and I'm seeing people I'm seeing cowards shy away from talking about the issues in our society, issues that affect everyone. I'm tired of young people dying. I'm tired of the senseless violence. There's no reason why people should be bringing knives to track meets. For what? What are you going to do with that? Does it help you run? Are you going to whack someone over the head like that girl did with the baton a couple of weeks ago? Everyone acted like that didn't happen too, right? Everyone defended her as well, just like they're defending Carmelo Anthony. It sounds weird every time I say that because Carmelo Anthony is also a famous basketball player. But already they're forming the narrative, trying to paint out the picture that Carmelo is the victim. Not Austin Metcalf, who literally got stabbed and died in his twin's arms. No, Carmelo's the victim. They're already painting that picture. And those of you who sit here and shy away from acknowledging the problem, you are aiding them in painting that narrative. And I see some of you in the comments already spreading fake lies about this story as well, because people cannot handle the truth. But it is what it is. For now, you guys let me know what you think. Regardless of what your opinion is, you can disagree with anything I said here. That's fine. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next one.